I'm back. Okay, so I know the last video was just on like time management and organization, and I said I was gonna do pharmacology and advanced health assessment, like what I did to study and how I passed once I finished advanced health assessment, and I finished it with the A. Thank God. So since I'm done, I'm going to talk about those two classes because school starts in about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and from there it'll be more in depth, talking about, I hope, my neonatal classes and the stuff that I love. So yeah, gonna go ahead and knock these two out the park and give, you know, the best advice I can give, or what I did. I don't know what helped me. Again, everything doesn't help everybody. So yeah, let's go from there. I'll start with pharmacology. So, you know, before I even went to pharmacology, I was already told like that's the hardest class. Just because there's a lot of drugs to remember. It's just a lot of things to have to remember with pharmacology. I didn't struggle in undergrad, but I know a lot of people that did struggle in undergrad. This pharmacology was definitely challenging, one of the more challenging classes. But it's definitely doable, and you know, I passed that with the A, so I'm definitely happy about that. So I'll first start by showing you guys what book we had to use for pharmacology, which is this book. And so this is a big book. I actually bought this book because since I didn't buy the Patho book, I was like, I want to buy and see how highlighting feels and everything like that. And it definitely helped. It definitely felt better, you know. But if you don't have to buy it, depending on, you know, what track you're on, then I still suggest just rent it or whatever. You know, I could have done without buying it. And then I also used this book, Pharmacology Made Incredibly Easy. It definitely helped me just to kind of break things down and help me remember stuff, you know, because it just gets straight to the point, to the nitty gritty. It's not a bunch of like extra words that you don't need or whatever. So I'll start, you know, the same way I did Patho. I made sure I stayed organized. I made sure I dedicated a certain amount of time each day to pharmacology and to studying. And you know, that's just what helped me or whatnot. We also had study guides, and study guide questions for pharmacology. So I'll show you guys just how I did my binder and how I made it up. So we have the study guide here. And we did this, if you watch my previous videos, if not, you may have to go back and look at it. I won't go into as many details as I did previously, but basically, you know, you get with your classmates and you guys split the questions up for the study guide. Of course, like I said, I always started on my own, just did it, and then I'll compare mine to the rest of the classes just because, like, I don't want to wait for everybody to have all their answers to the study guide. So I definitely, that's one of the major things that I did that helped me get through this class, and I organized my binder here. So here is, me writing. Again, I'm a writer, as y'all know, so you don't have to be a writer, you can type, but I just like wrote the answers down to my study guide questions. And yeah, I just definitely wrote down, and then as you can see, the highlights and everything, and just underlining some things that was key points or whatnot, or it was just drawing on it, and just color coordination and everything. And then I tabbed it with the study guide question number, as you can see right there. So that helped me, and then just going after doing the answers, definitely just going back and reviewing it. I also did the same thing I did, and I recommend this for every single class. I mean, maybe not your specialty classes, but I definitely recommend it for, you know, the other classes. This is just the key points at the end of each chapter. Obviously, chapter 1's pretty short, but it just gets longer and longer. And I printed the key points out, and I would highlight important things that I see, highlight things that I seen mentioned twice, or highlight something that was on the study guide and on questions and on the review questions. So that's how I did that, and I would go back under and underline things that was extremely important. So that's just how I got organized for the class and everything using that. And one major thing that I do appreciate is our professor allowed us to use a drug chart during the exam. Her rationale was basically, you know, in the real world, there'll be times when you don't know certain things about a drug, and you can use, you know, like books and everything, and you have resources. The only difference, only thing was, it's still time. Even just like in the real world, if it's an emergency, you don't have all day to sit down and read. You have to be on a time schedule. So although we were able to have the drug chart and everything, it didn't make it any more easier because you still have to have your stuff organized, and you still kind of have to have an idea of some things. And, you know, study. Don't just, I pretty much act like she didn't let us use the drug chart, but I still had it there for me. That's when I was studying everything, because I didn't want to depend on that, and then something may be missed or something, and I'm like, oh, I don't know where it's at, you know, things like that. So she did let us use that in the book, so that really helped. And my drug chart, pretty small, but it's right here. Not every school will do that, so I will tell you, you know, how I studied the classes as if I didn't have the drug chart. Okay, that's pretty much how I have my binder organized, basically in order. I have my keynotes, like I said at the end of the chapter, my handwritten notes, which is answers to the study guide questions. And then I have my drug chart, and that's pretty much that. And I highlight and go through everything. Now, the way I got through this class was studying was, I definitely recommend that you don't try to study and memorize every single individual drug by heart. In graduate school, you know, for like nurse practitioner, I mean, I just talk about nurse practitioner, I don't talk about other tracks because I don't know how they do. But you study drugs differently in this class than you did in undergrad nursing school. Nursing school, you want to know the drug, you want to know the side effects and things you're going to look for once the patient takes it, and like teaching mechanisms. Here, we're studying also the drug itself, but I mean the classes, what they're used for, and the adverse and side effects. But another major thing that we touched on more here than we touched on in nursing school is other drug interactions, as well as contraindications to taking a drug. For example, one drug, if you put two different drugs together, a blood pressure medication and an asthma medication, this is just a fake example, together, you know, one drug may either increase the absorption of the other drug or decrease the absorption of the other drug. So you have to know, do you need to decrease your dose? Do you need to increase your dose? Things like that, because I mean, you're the one in charge for placing those orders. So those are the kind of things that you're going to be trying to look for when it comes to, when it's in grad school, nurse practitioner type of studying. Like I said, I studied by classes because a lot of the classes, they have the same side effects. They have a lot of the same adverse effects. Of course, there's going to be certain drugs that have the individual things, but they're going to stand out to you. You're kind of going to know them. But most of them have like their same thing, like beta blockers. You're going to kind of have a lot of the same type of effects you're going to look for. So I definitely recommend that you study by classes versus by individual drug, because you know you're going to just drive yourself crazy trying to memorize all those drugs. It's just too many. And then another thing I did was I have drug cards that I felt like really helped me, and I also broke these up by classes as well. For like example, these are tricyclic antidepressants. I just put the, you know, what they treat, and then put individual drugs. I put what they do, side effects. They must cause the same side effects, and then talking about toxicity. Like, I broke it up by classes versus by individual drugs, because it just helps. And then you kind of can like know the list, the names, you know, like the laws and everything for beta blockers. Like a lot of them have the kind of you'll recognize the names, or statins for other drugs and everything like that. So that's just what I definitely did to help. And then last but not least, this pharmacology made it incredibly easy. Again, like I said, after I did that, I would go back through this and, you know, read the chapters that coincided with the chapter that I was studying. And if I seen something extra, I would take notes or just like highlighting stuff, because you know, repetition kind of helps you remember things or whatever. And pharmacology is a lot about remembering. I mean, like, you know, it's a slight critical thinking comes in there, but it's a lot of memorizing. So, you know, once you see it a lot, it kind of helps you. So those are my pretty much basic tips for pharmacology. It helped me. Again, I didn't use any type of like mnemonics or anything, but I know they have Picmonic out there that helps. I'm a visual, but I'm not a visual. Like, I'm a visual person. Like, I have to make the visualization myself. But like when somebody else makes it not all the time doesn't help me. Unless like it didn't help me. But I know it helped a lot of people. So look into Picmonic. That may help you or whatnot. And that's pretty much what I did to help me. If you have any questions regarding that, you know what to do. But I'm going to keep going and go ahead and talk about advanced health assessment real quick. So this is the book that I use for advanced health assessment. I don't think I have my notes, but it's okay. I use for advanced health assessment, or we use for advanced health assessment. This class, it wasn't necessarily hard. Like, the test for me was the easiest part. Like, I didn't have to spend a lot of my time studying for them. Like, I did like review the notes and stuff like that, but the main part for me was we had to do scripts, and we had to do like a whole like cardiac assessment, head and soul assessment, neuro assessment, and memorize it by heart. And because I'm on online school, in online school, you don't go in or whatever. So we had to memorize everything by heart. You had to record it on a video with the patient, not a real patient, but your patient. And you weren't allowed to have like no note cards, no notes. You had to scan the room and show that you had nothing helping. You had to remember everything by heart. The hardest one for me was neuro, because like me and neuro just don't get along. I'll cardiac all day, but neuro, I just had to remember like all the cranial nerves and stuff like that. My tip for you, trying to, just prepare for any videos or for advanced health assessment or anything like that, is to look at the rubric and kind of break the rubric down. Go through the rubric and everything they ask for. I also use note cards for that. I don't think I have them right now, but yeah, I used note cards for that, and I wrote my script down. And I would do it like daily. I would start like maybe a week ahead, depending on how your assignments and stuff is. I started like a week ahead of time, maybe a week and a half, however much early I can start. And I would, if the script was like 10 pages, they were long, I would do like 5 to 10 note cards a day. I would write one note card. Once I write it, I would recite it over and over again until I could recite it without looking at it. Then I would do another note card. Then I would recite that second note card over and over again. Then I would start from note card 1, go through note card 1 and 2 without looking at it. If I messed up, I would have to start over again. So that's what I did. That's what helped me, because it's just like, again, repetition helps you memorize it by heart. So I would just, and I'm walking around talking to myself in the house, like reading out loud or whatever, trying to memorize it. I did pretty good. Like I said, I got an A. It wasn't, hard, but I obviously in the videos missed something, because you just can't memorize everything. But that's just the best way I can recommend doing it. It's kind of like writing it out. And or if you're like just a reader and you just want to read the script over and over again, that help you. I did that for the first assessment, and it was shorter, so that was okay. But once I got to that long one, I was like, I have to write these down. So I did the note card technique, and that really helped me. I think that's pretty much, like I said, what was the most pressing thing was the assessment videos for health assessment. As far as the test, it's kind of stuff that you see every day, kind of common sense, not common sense, but just kind of known. You kind of know it, like you can see the answers and you're kind of like, yeah, that's not it. Yeah, that's not it. Like you kind of just know. I'm not saying don't study. I'm just saying, depending on, I don't know, everybody's class is different. You may have more exams than assessments. Like who knows? We didn't have that many exams. It was mainly, most of the points came from our assessments. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of grad programs, that's what they focus on, because as a nurse practitioner, that's what you're going to be doing, actually assessing a patient. So those are my best tips to get through both advanced health assessment and advanced pharmacology. If you have more questions, if I missed anything or anything like that, definitely feel free to comment, like, subscribe, message me, whatever. You can follow me on Instagram at @SignedAngelJanae. And that's about it. And look out for the next videos coming soon. Like I said, class is starting in a few weeks, and we're going to get this on a roll. I'm definitely taking 3 classes this semester, so we'll see how time management is. But I promise I'll try my best to make sure I at least get a video out a week, if not at least 2 videos a month. All right.